Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome back to Final Trade. We're going to take our March look at Flesh and Blood sales data off of TCG Player. I have not looked at these data yet, so it'll be your first time along with me. I just got them compiled. I've set the horizontal axis here to 3 months. So we've got January, February, and March coming across. And of course, you'll see these big jumps. March 22nd was a bonus buck sale. So first off, as usual, I have Welcome to Wraith Unlimited, Arcane Rising Unlimited, and Crucible of War Unlimited booster box sales up here. And on the cumulative box sales chart, of course, you see these big steps upwards. About 75 boxes of Welcome to Wraith Unlimited were sold during the bonus buck sale alone, and it looks like close to about 40 Crucible of War boxes. Going to the month-over-month table, and I'll explain, of course, how this works once it comes up. Of course, it has February box sales total number, March total number of boxes, the month-over-month percent difference in the number of boxes, then February average box sales price, March average box sales price, the month-over-month percent difference, and then multiply those together to get the total revenues for each month and the month-over-month revenue difference. And so, as we can see, yes, the Welcome to Wraith boxes had an additional, looks like 64 that sold, so nearly doubled the number of boxes on the back of that bonus buck sale. A lot of people coming in and establishing good big positions of that. Surprisingly, Arcane Rising was down with a bonus buck sale. I would not have expected that. You know, in a way, the market is telling us that Arcane Rising is the bigger winner of the three here because it's the highest price already. That's the market sending you a signal and saying, hey, this is the biggest winner out of the three. That's why the market is valuing it at the highest price. And so I'm surprised that when a bonus buck sale comes along and we got, what did we get this time? 13% off, I think. When you get 13% off, the sales actually dropped a significant amount, down 46% month over month. And of course, Crucible of War Unlimited up 224% with that bonus buck sale. Again, as I will always state, a lot fewer boxes of Crucible of War Unlimited in existence than we thought for a long time. I was just looking at the actual numbers on Flesh and Blood's Collector Center a minute ago. It's about 135,000 unlimited boxes of Crucible of War were printed to begin with. So price-wise, the action was not that interesting. Minus 1%, plus 4%, minus 3%. That's kind of in the noise and not that big of a deal. So we're going to move on to Monarch First Edition, Tales First Edition, and Everfest Only Edition. And so when we bring those up, we see a big jump with the bonus buck sale. Now, was this bonus buck sale a couple days long, or did somebody just absolutely miss time when they should come in here and buy a lot of boxes? That's really interesting. You know, later I'm going to go back and look at the actual data, the raw data, and see what that looks like, if it was one large purchase or if it looked like a whole bunch of little small purchases. But nonetheless, a whole lot of boxes of Monarch First Edition getting scooped up out of the market. What was the original print run of that? It was 125,000, I believe, if I just have to try to remember off the top of my head. Tales of Aria first saw a little bump on the bonus buck sale, and the yellow line of Everfest, a tiny bump. Overall, prices pretty stable. If we go to the month-over-month table for the actual data, yeah, wow. Monarch First Edition up 289% from 28 boxes to 109 boxes sold in March. And the price, minus 1%. You know, that is something you should never see in a logical, properly functioning market, is that your sales almost quadruple and the price comes down 1%. That tells me that a lot of people are still just trying to get out from under these boxes and they do not have long-term conviction. If the sellers here on TCG Player had long-term conviction, they'd be pulling these boxes off the market. They wouldn't be selling them for a mere $79. Tales of Aria down 7% and the price down 1%. Everfest First Edition sales up with the bonus buck sale and the price still down to 10%. Now, we did have that confirmation a couple months back from James White that the unlimited printing of Everfest had been literally destroyed it, no longer exists anymore. And after that, we saw a jump in sales. And so I think we're still kind of coming down off of that jump. So I'm not too concerned by a 10% fall in the price of Everfest First Edition. Obviously, in the long term, I think these first 6 boxes of Flesh and Blood are all still underpriced. I continue to still slowly acquire. Moving on, History Pack Volume 1. You can see not really much of a bump from the bonus bucks sale. Wow, not even 5 boxes on the day of the sale. And if we move over to the month over month table for that, down 53%, but off of a very small base of 32 boxes in February to 15 boxes in March. So again, a little surprising to see that, but History Pack in English language has always kind of been, let's just say, kind of an unnecessary product. We really didn't need the reprints. Now, for the foreign languages who were being brought up to speed as Flesh and Blood added those foreign languages, History Pack was a very good product, but in English, it just kind of didn't serve a purpose. And price up 7%. Again, nothing to write home about, just still kind of in the noise. Moving on to the third block sets, we'll take Uprising, Dynasty, and Outsiders, plot those up here. Again, no big giant jumps. I mean, you can definitely see the bonus buck sale for these sets, but it's not huge relative to the rest. It doesn't really significantly change the slope of these lines. Going to the month over month tables, yeah, 0%. So flat sales of Uprising from February to March. Dynasty down 23%, and Outsiders up 37%. All the price changes, again, in the noise, plus or minus 5%. Nothing that interesting. And to the final, most recent group, we will plot those. And, of course, it looks really crazy for heavy hitters because way back at the beginning of its time range, we got the TCG Player sales event for that. You can still see the bonus buck sale giving it a little boost and a tiny boost for the blue line of Dusk Till Dawn. Bright Lights, pretty flat. Sad how that set has turned out, sales-wise, at least. And Heavy Hitters down 51%. This is the kind of thing you expect. This is the TCG expansion life cycle saying, hey, everybody got in February when it was a new release, bought tons, and now in March you expect the sales to drop off a lot. Bright Lights flat month over month at 44 boxes per month. And Dusk Till Dawn up a small 17%. Again, prices not very surprising. Minus 7% from Bright Lights is a little surprising. Minus 9% on Heavy Hitters is what you expect. At some point, it will be released from its map restrictions, and probably that price will come down a little more. Maybe that actually at $80. I can't remember what the map price isn't. The map price it's originally 92 or something like that, and then it falls to 76, something like that. I forget the exact numbers. And if we want to take a days since release, and let's pull that out to 100 for these 3 sets and see comparatively how Heavy Hitters is doing. Again, just like last month, it's threading in between Dusk Till Dawn and the red line of Bright Lights. Again, this is putting all 3 sets release day at the same point on the horizontal axis to see how they did relative to each other in their own time periods. And Heavy Hitters making up some of that ground that Bright Lights lost, but not back to the level that Dusk Till Dawn was at. So we'll continue to monitor that. I continue to collect these data every month like I have for maybe 27, 28 months now. It's really interesting when I go back and I look at the plots of all that data, and I can start to look at things like what percentage of the entire print runs for some of these products have moved on TCG Player in the last 27 months. Those are the very interesting data. Let me know what you think, guys. I'll continue to do this. Subscribe if you want to see this and the rest of my TCG investing content and other stuff that I do here. Thanks to everyone who makes this content possible, especially my very generous supporters on Patreon. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and join me on Final Trade.